We are slightly ahead of schedule, which is always nice. I don't know if folks have anything that is just burning they want to talk about or ask right now that we could have a discussion on before we take a break. If so, now's your opportunity.
I have a question.
What is it?
For the data that we just saw, is the reentry rate just based on families coming back into the system within 12 months?
Marty?
Yes.
That's a standard measuring, the 12 months is a standard measuring stick that the feds use for reentry rates, correct?
Yes.
And then what's the difference between a home visit, a child home visit, where you were talking about monitoring, and a safety plan?
So a safety plan would be a tool that we would utilize to help implement a trial home visit.
Okay.
So a trial home visit is reunification of children with parents, and a safety plan would be included in that process to make sure that we were mitigating any safety concerns that could still exist within that family.
Okay, and there's no time limitation on that. I mean, in the early stages of a case, before any legal documents are filed, I've seen that social workers attempt safety plans to avoid filing with the court. And it's been my understanding that that kind of a safety plan is like limited to 30 days. Is that correct?
Yes, so that's called a protection plan, and that is limited to 30 days.
Okay.
So Marty, Judge Halligan has another question here. Do the adoption rates include time for appeals? Any idea of data as to how long cases are taking to a final district court decision regarding termination?
I don't have that in front of me.
So Leslie, I don't have that data in front of me right now either, but it seems like we had that rate, and the adoption, the days is really not significantly different for when you take out the appeals. They're basically, they were very close. And the same has been true. I think the data that Marty was showing on how long cases are taking from a final district court decision regarding termination, we did a mapping of that with the Children's Bureau, and the average was like 300. It was taking, like, after the district court terminated, another year to accomplish the adoption. And we looked at other states where this was only taking like 60 days, and mapped out a number of changes in our process that we are hoping is going to help there. But did that answer your question? Is that what you were talking about, from TPR to the adoption?
Yes, I was just interested. I did meet kind of to figure out why those delays took so long. And, you know, there's always a myriad of issues, but I do think that there's some procedural things that can be done to
Right.
Kind of prep cases for more permanent placements sooner
Right.
than waiting until, you know, the very last minute.
So, you know, at the judges conference, we kind of passed out sort of some judicial tips. Some of the judicial tips around were around this issue, and that some of the things we found that were delaying things from the TPR order to adoption was lack of a certified court order, failure of the adoptive parents to go in and look at the file, failure of the worker to, you know, get the documents all to Helena. And so we mapped out things that we thought at least district court judges could be doing and reminding folks to do following their TPR order, and that was the motivation for some of that And then we also looked at some other processes that the department is changing in hopes that we're going to be able to reduce that number. So we do need to take about a 5-minute break here. So if you need to run, get more coffee, something like that, we'll be back here in 5 minutes.